Hey guys, welcome back to the shop. So my wife found this mid-century modern sideboard slash buffet table for free on one of those next door apps. It's in pretty rough shape. I mean, everything's falling apart and all the veneering work is actually in really rough shape. I'm probably going to have to re-veneer a lot of it. The drawers themselves and these doors are not in bad shape. This frame molding is in pretty rough shape. I'm going to have to sand that down. It has this weird, like, thick top with like a plastic veneered walnut wannabe thing that I'm thinking I'm going to get rid of. I'm going to get rid of the top, and I want to give it just a clean top so that it's a little bit of a cleaner shape. It doesn't have this big fat thing on top. I think it'll look good. It's got some really interesting stuff. It's got the legs. These two are front and back, and those two are side to side, which is kind of weird. All of the hardware is in really good shape. I don't have the keys for the locks, but I'm going to figure out a way, because these locks are actually pretty interesting, the way they're working. All of the brass, or faux brass, or whatever this is in really good shape. So I think the front I'm going to sand down and clean up and use what's existing, because the veneer on it is actually pretty thick veneer, so it should be able to sand it down. The top, sides, bottom, and back all have to be sort of replaced. And I'm going to try to figure out, I believe this is walnut, but it's really golden and it's really lightened down a lot. So I'm not sure. Once I sand it down, I'll be able to see. I'm looking at it from behind and it looks like walnut. This was the piece that was right here. But the color doesn't look anything like walnut. But this makes it feel like it was walnut. This didn't lighten down in the sun because it's not real. Inside of here, you can see there's some walnut, dark walnut in here, and I think that's what the color originally was. And I'm not sure how I'm going to get the front to look like that, but that's kind of the idea. There's some pretty cool hardware in here. The drawer runners actually have little wheels to make it slide better. And there's some wheels down here as well. And this lock, which I don't have a key for, actually has a really interesting mechanism right here that I have to figure out how it works. It's got a chain in here somehow, so I'll have to figure that out. Finally get to use my restored screwdriver slotted. Every screw in here looks to be slotted screws. So I'm going to start by taking off the legs. So I finished what becomes the new casework for this piece. This is the bottom, that's the top, and I just wanted to show you guys all of the kind of the structure, the way this is cut out. So, you know, this is cut to length, and then there's a rabbet in the back, that's going to be for the back panel. There's these dados that are for the dividers, and there's also these two grooves in the front, and that's for the doors to slide. The top piece is very similar. It gets the what is this? The rabbet in the back, the grooves, the dados for all the dividers, and then the two grooves for the top, it's for the doors, are cut differently because they need to fit in, and then, you know, be able to fit in and then come back down. So what I'm planning on doing now is sanding these, pre-finishing the insides, because I think that's going to be pretty hard to get to after. So I'm going to start the assembly of the main carcass, essentially. And as you can see, I've pre-finished the inside of this so that it'd be easier. I'm going to glue and screw to the bottom the dividers, and then to the top they only get screwed. But I'm going to start with the bottom, let that set probably for a while, and then come back and do the top, because then it'll be all more stable, I think. I'm not sure. I'm going to see how it goes once I'm doing it right now. So here goes nothing. Oh, and by the way, I'm using hide glue mainly because I believe that hide glue is a better glue for furniture if you want it to last longer than PVA glue, because PVA glue is almost impossible to get off once you put it on, where with hide glue it's easy. You can warm it up, and when you need to restore something, like basically the restoration that I was doing was done with hide glue, and if it wasn't done with hide glue, I don't think I could have restored this the way I'm doing it, because I don't think I could have gotten things apart. So that's why I'm using hide glue. Aside from the fact that it's got longer working time and it's easier to work with, it's a little stickier, but So the next thing on the case is, now that I have the box glued up and all ready, is the edging that goes on the front to cover the plywood panels. And the edging, the way I cut it, it's actually cut at a 10-degree angle out, so it sort of splays up and out. And I've cut all the miters, so I'm going to glue it in, and as I go I'm going to like finesse it if I have to trim any of the miters to get them to fit perfectly. Well, we're finished. Here's the final product. I think it turned out really nice. It's going to look pretty cool in the house. Just a couple of things I wanted to talk about. I had to rebuild the carcass because it was in such bad shape. So the outside part, the dark wood part, is actually new. We restored the legs and applied the same dark as this, and then left this as the lighter color just to give it that cool two-tone, give it a little bit more of a modern flair. And it was going to be really hard to match the old wood to the new wood because it was so faded. So that was one of the reasons I wanted to go with the two-tone. Aside from, we could have gone really dark, you know, but I like the two-tone and it worked out well. I polished all the brass. I even had new keys made for these locks, so that everything works like it was brand new. So these doors lock, it's got like a push button. But when you push it, it pushes a rod out and it doesn't allow these doors to open. So that's pretty cool, and then the lock just works normal. As far as the drawers, they have a little lock right here which just lowers a lever that locks all the drawers in space. Let me see, what else did I have to do? I had to use new drawer slides for this one. I wanted to keep the old drawer slide because it had a really interesting one, but it just was really shot. It wasn't working very well. As far as the drawers, all I did was polish the brass and clean up the fronts, and those are the original drawers. But that's it. I mean, it took a while. It's my first real big furniture restoration, so well, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, subscribe, and stay tuned for the next one.